This is Colonel Tracy Roberts, your pastor of prosperity, with words of wisdom and nuggets of knowledge. So we're talking about financial mentors. Who is it that you're listening to? Are you listening to your broke uncle who's declared bankruptcy 50 times, and every time that you talk about some financial need, he wants to tell you how to do things? If that's the case, I'm going to suggest to you, maybe you need to listen to somebody else. We're going to be talking about one of my favorite mentors, my personal financial mentor, and that is King Solomon. King Solomon was the greatest, wealthiest, richest king that ever walked on the earth. And I love King Solomon. So we're gonna talk to him, and I'm going to show you how he has changed my life. In order to do that, we're going to look at some things about Solomon. Now, when he became the king, remember, Solomon was the son of the great King David, the one that God later said in the New Testament that he was a man after his own heart. David had some issues. David had some problems, and yet God still said that David was a man after his own heart, which is good for me, because I know that even if I've got some issues or some problems, then I'll still be all right. But when King Solomon, he became the king, and God came to him at night and said, Solomon, what do you want? And that's in 2 Chronicles chapter 1. And God said, what do you want? And Solomon says, you know what? King David was my daddy, and he was a great king, and now you made me the king over these people. I can't even count how many people that they are. I only want one thing from you, and that is to have wisdom. Actually, he said two things, and knowledge. He said, can I have wisdom and knowledge? And God says, Solomon, because you asked for wisdom and knowledge, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you wisdom and knowledge, but I'm going to also give you all the things that you could have asked for. You could have asked for your enemies to be destroyed. You could have asked for wealth, a long life. I'm going to give you all of those things. You're going to have knowledge and wisdom. He said, by the way, you're going to be the king that people are going to talk about till the end of time. There's never a king that's been like you, and there's never going to be another king that is as great as you. And so Solomon, he was a powerful guy. As a matter of fact, people would come to him from all around the world. The kings of the earth would come to him every year. They'd come before him. They'd have a problem. They'd say, Solomon, I've got a problem. I've got a problem. And Solomon would listen because he had knowledge and wisdom. And he would answer the question. They would dump a bunch of gold in front of him, lay it on the altar, go about their business. Next year they would come back and they say, wow, Solomon, thank you. You really solved some problems for me, but I've got a bigger one this year. And so then they would come, bring their gold again, drop it before the king, and he would answer their questions. And then the Queen of Sheba in Chronicles, she came to visit him because her servants had said, this guy is something else. When the Queen of Sheba came to visit King Solomon, let's just put this in perspective. She brought to Solomon 120 talents of gold. All right, 120 talents of gold is, each talent is about 75 pounds. So each talent represents about $1.5 million, $1.5 million. And she brought him 125 or 120 talents of gold. And when she did, I did the math on that. That is around $189 million in gold in our money today. So now the next time you go in the scriptures and you're reading about gold, and you're reading about the parable of the talents, then you know why the master was so mad when the one that got the one talent just went and buried it in the ground. He buried almost 100, he buried $1.6 million in gold and didn't do anything with it. That's a lot of money. We're going to get back to Solomon here. The Queen of Sheba, she said, wow, you are more than I ever imagined. You are more powerful. You have more wisdom. As a matter of fact, your people live better than I live. Your servants live like a king anywhere else or a queen anywhere else. As a matter of fact, the scripture tells us that under Solomon's reign, the gold and silver were so plenteous, they were just like rocks. Like rocks? Wow. You could just walk around, and if you saw someone and they had a garden full of gold, you wouldn't even stop. You'd just say, yep, there's another garden of gold. And that's how wealthy the people were during that time frame. Now we're going to get to why Solomon is my personal mentor and how he can be your personal mentor. And here it is. In the book of Proverbs, which I call the treasure chest, hidden inside the treasure chest, we have 31 chapters. And if you look on your calendar, the longest month we have is how many days? 31 days. And so what you can do is this is going to be the task that you're going to take upon you. You're going to read one chapter a day. And all you're going to do is look on your calendar, and whatever the day of the month is, that's the chapter you're going to read. This is simple, 5-minute exercise. And if you skip a day, you're not going to make it up. You're going to just go and read the next chapter, read that day's chapter. If you skip 2 weeks, you're going to go back and just read that chapter. What you're going to find is after a while that those words and that language is going to become so familiar to you that you're going to have a powerful understanding of finances. King Solomon is going to open your mind to finances. I'm going to give you one example of it. Maybe I'm going to give you more than one example, but here's an example. For years and years, I thought that if I ran across the bum on the street, that my job was to go by him. If he said he's hungry, then I would go and get him a hamburger, fries, and a Coke. And I thought that that was my job. Then King Solomon taught me that when I give to the poor, I made a loan to God. And I thought, wow, I give to the poor, I make a loan to God. And then I was reading in some other documents. There was this other king from way back, and his name was King Benjamin. And King Benjamin said to me, he said, never let the beggar petition you in vain. I always give them something. And God will never be in your debt, because as soon as you do a good thing, God's going to bless you. So I have two kings that are telling me something. One king's telling me that when I give to the poor, I made a loan to God. And so the contract is between me and God, not me and the bum, the B-U-M, the brother under modification is between me and God. And so what they do with the money that I give them is their business, not my business. Remembering there's only 3 kinds of business in this world: my business, your business, and God's business. And if it's your business or God's business, then it ain't my business. And so when I keep into my own business and know where my contract is, then I'm able to go somewhere with this. So now that I know that God is the contract, then if someone petitions me for money, then all I have to do is ask a simple question. Should I give them some money? And how much? And then I'll give it, because I know that I made a loan to God, and God's going to bless me immediately. And God, by the way, blesses us at the rate of 100-fold. So if I pull out a dollar bill, we're going to keep this simple math. If I pull out a dollar bill and give it to somebody, then God says He's going to put a $100 bill back in my pocket. So wait a second. Y'all want to see this? I'm going to show it to you. I'm digging in my pocket right now. All right. So here's the exchange. If I give $1 to the poor, I give $1 to the poor. Oh, I love the dollar bill. I love a dollar bill because the dollar bill changed my whole life. If I give $1 to the poor, then God says He's going to put $100 in my economy. And I believe that. And that's because Solomon was teaching me some things. So Solomon has taught me many things about finance, about money, and how that I'm able to do some powerful things. He is my financial mentor. And I'm going to leave you with this. Jesus Christ, the person of Christ, brings peace to our world. And you can find that in Philippians 4:7, where it tells us that He gives us the peace that surpasseth or goes over the top of understanding. It is so powerful. But it's the principles of Jesus Christ that bring prosperity. The principles of prosperity, they bring that into my world. And so what I found is if you will read the book of Proverbs and make this a daily study, you are going to be able to have a different understanding, a different mindset, and experience prosperity and abundance because you've got the greatest financial, richest man that ever lived on the earth as your personal prosperity coach. So I'm going to encourage you to do that. And this lesson is just your start, but we got to start somewhere. Take action. Make a move today and start reading the book of Proverbs every day. But don't judge yourself if you skip. Just keep on going to the next chapter and the next chapter. This is your Pastor of Prosperity, Colonel Tracy Roberts, leaving you with a blessing of prosperity, abundance, and favor. God bless you as you bless others. And remember to live in purpose and on purpose always. I love you, and we'll see you on the next video.